And I really didn't mean to hurt you. Mom, I want to apologize to you. I'm really sorry that we fought last week, and will you accept my apology?
What I've noticed about Gilmore Girls and what always stays with me is that Lorelai often has to be the bigger person in disagreements with her parents, even when they're the ones who hurt her. Emily and Richard hurt her feelings, cross her boundaries, make comments about her life, and then somehow Lorelai is still the one who has to explain herself, come back to Friday night dinner, or make the first move toward peace.
Mom, come to the party tomorrow.
I can't, I'm busy.
And that's such a specific but also common parent-child dynamic. Emily and Richard often act like being the parents means their perspective carries more weight than hers. So when Lorelai reacts, her reaction becomes the problem instead of the thing that hurt her in the first place.
So, we just ended here? Nothing resolved?
I'm tired.
Welcome to another episode of Pexposure. I'm Pecky, and I love to psychoanalyze myself through the characters I watch in film and TV, using my background in psychology and communication. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my episodes. In a healthy relationship, repair goes both ways. Someone says something hurtful, and the other person reacts. And eventually, both people have to take responsibility for their part. But in Lorelai's relationship with her parents, the conflict often gets resolved without her parents ever fully naming what they did wrong. They may make the gesture, they may change their tone, or they may act like things are fine again, but they rarely give Lorelai the kind of direct emotional accountability she's constantly expected to give them. I actually don't think I've seen Emily apologize to Lorelai a whole lot, except for that situation where she was responsible for Gran not giving Rory her trust fund early.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Well, yes I am.
Even then, that felt more like relief than a full apology. But I'll give it to her. It was still an apology. But that exception almost proves the rule, because most of the time, Emily's version of repair is acting like the conflict is over once she's ready for it to be over. If there are times when Emily and Richard apologize for something and I didn't catch it, can you just let me know in the comments? Thank you. So I want to look at a few conflicts between Lorelai and her parents, to look at how these conflicts actually get resolved. In season 1, we get Lorelai and Emily's first big fight in the kitchen. It starts after Richard says,
He always was a smart one, that boy. You must take after him.
That line is a dig at her intelligence, her choices, and the life she built without them. And what happens after that is really telling. Emily goes after Lorelai, but not really to understand why the comment hurt her. She mostly treats Lorelai's reaction as a problem.
You're being very dramatic, and I think you took what your father said the wrong way.
That becomes one of the biggest communications issues in their family. The focus shifts from what she said to how Lorelai responded. Instead of Richard having to take responsibility for the comment, Lorelai has to defend why she was hurt by it. And then she still has to return to the dinner table and keep participating in the family system. It's a familiar parent-child dynamic. A parent says something hurtful, the child reacts, and suddenly the reaction becomes the bigger offense than the original harm.
You can't take constructive criticism.
We also see this with Richard in season 2, when he spends the day in Stars Hollow.
In the 32 years we've known each other, have I once come to your work and criticized the way you handled your clients?
I don't remember you coming to my work at all.
He embarrasses Lorelai during her workday, then when Dean brings Rory the car, Richard undermines a parenting decision Lorelai already made.
I didn't think it looked safe.
You don't have to think it looks safe. I have to think it looks safe. God, why can't I make you hear what I'm saying?
When Lorelai pushes back, Richard turns the conversation into how lost he feels after retirement, instead of acknowledging that he embarrassed her and undermined her.
Mom did call me, but...
You know, I never thought about retirement. I am an annoyance to my wife and a burden to my daughter.
He leaves like he's the one who was wronged. He crosses a line, Lorelai reacts, and then somehow his feelings become the center of the situation. We see something similar with Rory's birthday.
And maybe you and Grandpa could come?
Why, that's very sweet, dear, but I'm afraid we already have plans.
Oh.
Emily invites Rory's Chilton classmates to her birthday party without asking her. Rory gets upset, And yes, she does yell at Emily in front of everyone.
I am not the hostess. You are. This is your party, and these are your guests, and I don't have anything to say to them, so you give the speech.
Which was a little over the top, but the part that stands out to me is how quickly Emily becomes focused on how Rory made her feel instead of why Rory was upset in the first place. Rory ends up feeling bad and asks Emily to come to her birthday party in Stars Hollow. Lorelai encourages Emily to come too, and Emily says no in this passive-aggressive way because she's still hurt, and then they have that whole big fight. Then Emily and Richard do show up at the Stars Hollow party, which is her own way of apologizing, I guess. But again, it's indirect. Lorelai and Rory make sure Emily and Richard feel welcomed. They show her they're happy she and Richard are there. They accept the gesture without asking for the accountability that should probably come with it. And that's the thing with Emily. A lot of her apologies are implied, but they're rarely direct acknowledgments of what she did.
What if there was a fire? What if Rory was choking?
Mom, stop yelling.
Rory is missing!
I know that, and your yelling is not helping.
When Rory doesn't come home until 5 in the morning after the Chilton dance because she and Dean fell asleep, Emily is reacting out of fear, and I don't think that part is hard to understand. But Emily says so many more damaging things than Lorelai does.
Well, if I was so controlling, why couldn't I control you running around and getting pregnant and throwing your life away?
Lorelai is defensive and angry, but a lot of what she says comes from setting boundaries and defending herself.
Get out.
What?
You will not come into my house and tell me I threw my life away. Look around, Mom. This is a life.
Emily, on the other hand, uses the moment to confirm every fear she already has about Lorelai as a mother.
She's gonna ruin everything just like you ruined everything.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
Then later, Emily uninvites Lorelai from the Christmas party because she doesn't like how Lorelai treated her. Once again, Emily gets to say hurtful things from a place of fear, but Lorelai's response becomes the real problem. Emily is allowed to be cruel because she's worried, and Lorelai is expected to be respectful because Emily is her mother.
I am tired of forcing you to do all those terrible things that infringe upon your life. And I do not have the energy to pretend that the way you treated me the other day was in any way acceptable.
That's where the parent-child hierarchy becomes unhealthy. Emily's feelings are treated as valid by default. Lorelai's feelings have to be presented perfectly or they're dismissed as immaturity. This continues into season 2 when Max and Lorelai are engaged and Emily finds out that she was one of the last people to know.
Finding out from a complete stranger that my only daughter was getting married and had told every other person in the world before she bothered to tell her own mother.
And listen, I understand why that would hurt Emily. Lorelai is her only daughter, and finding out that she's getting married after other people already know, or basically everyone else knows, that would feel awful. But what stands out to me is what happens after Lorelai confronts her. A few days later, Lorelai goes back to Emily and tries to explain herself.
When something good happens to me, I'm just afraid you're gonna make me feel bad about it. When something bad happens to me, I'm always afraid you'll say, I told you so.
That moment could have been an opportunity for Emily to understand why Lorelai felt that way. She could have said, I'm sorry I made you feel like you couldn't tell me. Or even, Or even, I hate that you were afraid of my reaction. But we don't really get that.
Your head is much too big for a veil. You might consider a tiara.
A tiara?
That's what I wore.
For Emily, that probably is a version of repair. But it's still not the same as saying I understand why it's hard to tell me things, or I'm sorry you felt like you couldn't come to me. Sometimes parents are hurt that their children don't come to them, but they don't always want to ask why their child felt unsafe coming to them in the first place. They want the closeness, but they don't always want to examine the conditions they created around that closeness. And then in season 5, after Emily meddles in Lorelai and Luke's relationship and contributes to their breakup, Lorelai stops going to Friday night dinner. Understandably. Emily crossed a major boundary. She inserted herself into Lorelai's relationship because she believed she knew better, and the result was genuinely painful for Lorelai. She does eventually go to Luke and tell him to go back to Lorelai.
She wants you, Luke. I promise I will stay out of it.
But that moment isn't only about Lorelai's pain. She also wants Lorelai to come back to Friday night dinner. She wants things to go back to the way they were before. And that's what makes the gesture a little complicated and selfish. Emily tries to fix the situation, but mostly for her own benefit.
Why won't you come to Friday dinner? Whatever happened between the two of you, I obviously fixed it.
You fixed it? You broke it.
She doesn't apologize to Lorelai for interfering in the first place, or acknowledge that Lorelai stopped coming to Friday night dinner because Emily hurt her. So when Lorelai comes back to Friday night dinner, partly or mostly because she wants to properly meet Logan, Emily treats Lorelai like she's the one who did something wrong.
And your usual Lorelai, a sidecar?
Sidecar? No.
Isn't that your drink?
No, my drink is a martini. It's always been a martini.
Really?
Yes, pretty much every one of the other 8,000 times I've had a drink here, it's been a martini.
I would have sworn you were a sidecar girl.
Not even sure what's in a sidecar, Mom.
She acts like Lorelai's absence was the offense instead of recognizing that Lorelai's absence was a reaction to something Emily did.
Honestly, you're acting as if you've never been here.
And that's the pattern, ladies and gentlemen. Emily and Richard hurt Lorelai. Lorelai reacts. The reaction becomes the issue. Then Lorelai is expected to make peace or accept whatever indirect gesture they offer. From a communication perspective, this is what happens when repair is one-sided. The relationship can keep functioning, but the actual wound never gets addressed. Everyone moves on, but nothing really changes. From a psychological perspective, this can keep someone stuck in a child role. Lorelai is a grown woman with her own house, career, daughter, and her own life. But around Emily and Richard, she's often treated like the difficult teenager who needs to be corrected instead of an adult whose boundaries were crossed. And we actually see how different Lorelai is from that version of herself in season 6, when Rory moves out of Emily and Richard's house and decides to go back to Yale. At that point, Rory isn't speaking to her grandparents, and Christopher is paying for Yale. Rory doesn't even want to tell Emily and Richard that he is, and Lorelai is the one who tells Rory that she should go over there and explain that to them.
Shouldn't they find out from you, not some office clerk at Yale?
What's the worst that can happen? We won't be speaking anymore? I don't think I should feel guilty because I want my father to pay for college.
No, you shouldn't. But my parents do have feelings. You saw my mom when the gardener butchered her box hedges.
And I think that says a lot about Lorelai. Because if Lorelai were really as immature as Emily and Richard sometimes make her out to be, she could have easily let that relationship stay broken and cut them off the same way Lorelai had done for years. But she doesn't. She encourages Rory to talk to them. She coordinates that Friday night dinner in a sneaky way where everyone finally has it out. She wants Rory to have a relationship with her grandparents and vice versa. Even after everything that happened between all of them, Lorelai still tries to get them back in the same room. That says a lot about who Lorelai is. A lot of people know what it feels like to be expected to forgive someone who never fully apologized, or to be told that you're too sensitive for reacting to something that hurt you. Lorelai isn't perfect, we all know that. She can be defensive, reactive, and she can often say the wrong thing, but I don't think the show works if we ignore how often she's the one trying to keep the relationship alive. She's not always running from her parents. A lot of the time, she's still trying to reach them, and that might be the saddest part of Lorelai's family dynamic. She keeps being treated like the daughter who ran away, but she's also the daughter who keeps coming back. She continues to make room for people who rarely make the same room for her. Editing Pecky here, I do want to quickly say that I know a lot of these examples focus more on Emily, because Emily is usually the one at the front of these conflicts. But I do think Richard is very much a part of the dynamic too. He just more often plays a more subtler role. So when we talk about Lorelai's relationship with her parents, I think the better question is, how many times can Lorelai be expected to be the bigger person before it stops feeling like repair and starts feeling like exhaustion? Let me know how you read Lorelai's relationship with Emily and Richard, because I feel like this is one of those dynamics people interpret so differently depending on their own family experiences. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm still a newer channel, so it really helps me and lets me keep making more video essays like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video soon. Bye!